We all have a soft spot for the original 151 Pokémon, but that warm, fuzzy feeling from your childhood can be dangerous when it's time to evaluate these digital assets today. In modern gaming and card collecting, resources are strictly finite. Whether you are spending real dollars, thousands of hours of free time, or hard-earned digital currencies, misallocating them halts your progress. Take Exeggcute, for example. It's an iconic, quirky cluster of 6 eggs from the Kanto region. It looks harmless, even valuable, but it is one of the most deceptive assets in the entire franchise. Fans have held on to their love for these vintage creatures for nearly 3 decades. That deep-rooted connection drives people to pour time and money into a Pokémon, simply because they remember it fondly. Today, Exeggcute exists across 3 entirely separate mechanical ecosystems: physical trading cards, the GPS-based Pokémon Go, and the traditional mainline RPGs. Players are wasting cash, in-game currency, and dozens of hours treating this specific creature as a universally viable asset across all 3 formats. Investing blindly in Exeggcute is a guaranteed loss. To see any return on your investment, you have to align your resources with a hyper-specific goal in a specific ecosystem. Let's start with the physical trading card game. Here, we leave the gameplay behind and evaluate cards purely for financial return and portfolio stability. The Pokemon TCG operates a high-stakes, competitive secondary market. Collectors and players throw serious capital at cards to build optimized decks and high-value portfolios. If you glance at the recent data for Exeggcute, the headline looks amazing. The card prices have gained 135% year-to-date. That number easily tricks investors into buying in. But that percentage masks a harsh reality. Across all 58 Exeggcute variants currently tracked on the market, the average card price is a mere $4.04. This chart maps out all 58 Exeggcute cards by their current market value. You can see almost the entire population, 57 out of 58 cards, sitting flat against the bottom, practically worthless. The entirety of that 135% gain comes from a single card pulling up the average. Tying up your cash in those 57 standard variants leaves you with a highly illiquid, C-grade investment. You are buying bulk paper that no one is actively trying to purchase from you. The only real asset here is the outlier on the far right, the secret rare number 102 from Plasma Blast, which commands a market price of $148.66. Every dollar you sink into common vintage Exeggcute cards is a dollar you aren't putting into liquid market staples that you can quickly sell or trade when the market shifts. For casual collectors, physical Exeggcute cards are a financial dead end. The only path to a positive return is if you are a premium completionist specifically targeting that singular secret rare. Moving over to Pokemon Go, the physical cash of the card market is replaced by time and Stardust. These are the primary currencies you use to build your account. Millions of players spend hours physically walking outside, gathering at specific locations, and grinding daily just to slowly accumulate those limited in-game resources. To max out an Exeggcute to level 50, the game demands an extreme economic input: 520,000 Stardust and 296 XL candy. That requires weeks, if not months, of dedicated grinding. This graphic weighs that massive cost against the final product.
For 500,000 Stardust, you receive a Pokémon with a maximum combat power of exactly 1328. That abnormally low combat power means Exeggcute hits a hard ceiling. It carries a rock-bottom F-tier ranking as both a grass and psychic attacker in PvE raids. It simply cannot output the damage required to beat raid bosses. Even in the highly restrictive Little Cup PvP format, where the combat power limit is capped specifically for unevolved Pokémon, it struggles. It loses to common threats in the meta like Bronzer and Ducklet. When you spend endgame resources on a creature that cannot defend gyms or win player battles, you handicap your entire account. You lack the Stardust to power up the meta-relevant attackers that actually help you win rewards. Allocating Stardust to Exeggcute is a drain on your economy and a failure in account optimization. Finally, we look at the traditional mainline RPGs, where your investments are the 6 party slots and the finite experience points you distribute among them. Many players first encountered Exeggcute on original Game Boy hardware, and they let that nostalgia dictate their current party building. Catching one in areas like the Safari Zone requires time and patience. Once you succeed, you are handing it one of only 6 valuable slots on your team. Immediately, you hit friction. Exeggcute is locked into the slow, leveling growth rate. It demands significantly more experience grinding to reach the same level as other mid-game grass options. In theory, its unique grass and psychic dual typing provides a great offensive toolkit, allowing it to hit a wide variety of opponents with super effective damage. But this radar chart breaks down its actual defensive matchups. That dual typing creates a massive liability. You can see a massive red spike indicating a severe 4x weakness to bug-type attacks, surrounded by 6 separate 2x weaknesses, ranging from fire to flying. This extreme defensive fragility forces you into a frustrating cycle. You have to constantly switch and pivot Exeggcute out of standard battles just to keep it from fainting. As a standalone party member, Exeggcute is a fragile liability that actively slows down your playthrough. Its only utility is if your sole intent is to use a leaf stone on it immediately to force an evolution. Across all 3 ecosystems, the data points to the exact same conclusion. Exeggcute is the ultimate transitional asset. In its base form, it provides 0 utility. To stop wasting your resources, apply this routing logic directly to your gameplay and your portfolio. This flowchart maps out your 3 options. Depending on your current goal, you take one of these specific paths. Following the Pokemon Go branch, we land on a hard red "Do not invest." Catch it solely to acquire the 50 candy required to get an Exeggutor, and then transfer it immediately. Keep your Stardust. On the TCG branch, we filter out all 57 standard illiquid variants. The only green box here targets the Plasma Blast Secret Rare number 102. Ignore the rest of the bulk. Finally, the mainline RPG branch leads to a yellow warning gate. Only deploy this Pokemon into your active party if you already possess the Leaf Stone required to evolve it. Do not let your affection for a childhood favorite trick you into suboptimal resource management. Recognize Exeggcute for what it actually is, a stepping stone asset, and make the smart trade.